Hi guys, so today I want to talk about, first let me apologize for being gone for so long. Things have been a crazy roller coaster. I want to talk about the most recent thing that I went through on Thursday night. So as you guys know, I was diagnosed with a lot of different disorders last June, and one of them being a dissociative disorder. Now, I've never really experienced anything with dissociative disorder before. I have very, very little education on it. I haven't really read up on it at all. You know, I got the diagnoses and I just kind of shoved it in the back of my mind. I've been unmedicated since last May. Tylenol. Other than that, I don't take any antipsychotic medication. I don't take any antidepressants, any anti-anxiety medication. I do not take any type of medication. And I've been doing good so far. But Sam and I got a divorce. And then we decided to move back in together, to try it, and ultimately it failed, so we're just being friends. So that on top of I'm working full-time again, and I'm in school full-time, and all the unresolved stuff that is still locked inside that I haven't dealt with. I stopped seeing my therapist in August. So things have just progressively been getting worse and harder. I've been shoving more and more, emotions deep down inside and not talking about them, and my brain finally broke. Thursday night was just like, any other night. I had worked all day and did the normal stuff that I do, did a little bit of homework, and I don't even remember exactly how it happened, but next thing I know, I was sitting in the bathroom and I had scissors, and Sam was coming into the bathroom. It's very fuzzy. I remember grabbing the scissors, but I don't actually remember anything until he was standing over me and asking me what I was doing. Then I went to my room and I was just sitting on my bed. So many bits and pieces are taken out. I don't know if it's my brain dissociating and shoving it into the back, so I don't actually remember it. There was one point where I was, seeing visuals. I was hearing people laugh at me. Horrible auditory and visual hallucinations. I heard myself talk a couple of times. At one point I threatened Sam, which is not something that is okay at all. But I felt like I wasn't myself when I was talking. It was like this dark, disgusting, evil feeling. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it was. I know that it wasn't me, and it was scary. Sam said at one point that I was petting my kitty, which I love my kitty more than anything in the entire world. She is my life. And he said that she bit me and I went to choke her. That was really, really difficult for me to hear when he told me that. I would never want to harm her, or anybody else for that matter. I'm such a gentle soul inside, so I don't know where all of this is coming from. So Sam ended up calling my counselor, who could not get through to me. I remember little bits and pieces of talking to her, and I wanted to talk to her, but for some reason I couldn't. I physically could not say anything to her except that I didn't want to talk to her. It was almost as if my brain shut off and somebody else took over. Sam and her decided that it was probably best to call the police. They called the police. The police came in. I don't really remember much of it. I remember I was crouching in the corner of my bedroom, this corner back here, that one. I remember I was crouching back in the corner and I felt so scared. I was extremely scared, but I didn't know why, and I was just bawling. And I don't remember why I was feeling like that. And then I finally, you know, started to remember everything. I was back in my own body, so to speak. I was sitting on the bed, and a woman police officer was talking to me, and so was a man, and we were putting my socks on and getting everything ready to go. I remember them asking me if I wanted help, and I said yes. Let me explain. I've never ever had an experience like this with my mental health. I've never felt this disconnected from myself. I've hallucinated a lot of different times, and I've been angry a lot of different times, but I have never felt this way in my entire life. So I was genuinely scared. I didn't know if my brain was going to switch back off at any minute, or if I was going to stay myself, or if I had no idea. I had no idea what was going on. So I agreed. I said, yes, I want help. I need to know what's going on with me. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm going to try and hurt myself or somebody else again. I don't know. So they said, okay, as long as it's voluntary, we can take you in. They, you know, cuffed me, took me in, blah, blah, blah. I sat in the hospital from 7:30 until, I think it was 12:30, I think. And at the end of it, I felt normal again. I felt okay. I was calm. You know, I was still a little shaken. I was still a little upset, but I didn't feel like I wanted to hurt myself. I didn't feel that I was gonna switch back to anybody else. I felt calm and collected and comfortable. But the hospital here told me that it would be best if they sent me to, you know, an intake psych ward, so they can go ahead and evaluate me and see if everything's okay, maybe work out some medications for me. The reason it took so long was because they only found one bed in our entire state that was open, and it was 6 hours away, well, 5 hours away. So we waited for that to happen. I finally went over there. Mind you, this is all on 2 hours of sleep from the night before. So my brain already was not in optimal functioning mode. So we rode over there. I had to be strapped to a gurney. It, you know, took 5.5 hours, and it was just, I got maybe half an hour of sleep, maybe. It just wasn't comfortable. Got there at 6:30 in the morning. They had me do all the paperwork and everything. And I was completely stable. I didn't really get to sleep the entire day that I was there. I had groups and different paperwork to do and different people to talk to. I had to do my physical and do everything that you normally do for intake. And then my doctor came and talked to me, and I told him what was going on, and he said he got, you know, a brief life history, and he said, wow, you've been through a lot for someone so young. And I said, yeah. I said, usually I handle it pretty well. And I said, the only reason I got really scared this time was because I've never experienced this before. And he asked me, he said, well, what do you want to do? What do you think would be best for you? And I said, I want to go home. I want to, you know, finally get serious about talking to my therapist and get back on medication. I know now that every time I get off my medication, something like this happens. And I thought this time I was okay because I'm not bipolar. I have many different disorders, but they're all emotional related, and they can be treated. I don't know if they necessarily can be cured, but they can be treated with therapy. So I was like, okay, well, it's not a chemical imbalance anymore, so there shouldn't be any reason for me to have to, you know, take medication. I should be okay as long as I'm working on it. Well, I got really complacent, and I didn't work on it properly. And I explained to the doctor, I was like, you know, I really just need to be open and honest about everything that I'm going through. I mean, everything. Every little thing, I think, counts at this point. He said that I was absolutely right. There was no reason for them to keep me and diagnose me again and get all these medications set up for me just for me to go, you know, 6 hours away where I'm not going to be able to contact them for refills or anything like that. No matter what, I'm going to have to go to my regular nurse practitioner to get my medicines. So I ended up I got discharged last night or the night before last, Saturday night at midnight, around midnight. And then we stayed at the place, we stayed in the town that I was in, and then we just hung out for the day. We just got away from where I live right now and just shut it all out and, smiled for a little bit. My roommate and his sister came and got me, and it was really relaxing. It was really helpful. When we came into Williston at midnight last night, I just sunk. I sunk again. My whole heart just fell. It's just this, I don't know. It's like this depression that I'm never gonna get away from. I don't know how to explain it. I literally feel dead. I don't feel like myself. I'm not manic, and I'm not wanting to hurt myself or anything like that. I just genuinely do not feel happiness. So I'm going to call my therapist, and I'm going to see about getting another appointment next week. I don't know if I'm going to get fired from my job or not, because I've missed, so much work. School is kind of a lot to handle right now. I think the most important thing to do right now is get my mind back on medication so I can start to function again. I don't know. It's been a nerve-wracking weekend. I go back to work tomorrow. I got an extension on all my assignments, but I'm going to try and finish them all today just because I hate being behind. I hate it. I need to start filming videos again. Videos really helped me with everything I was going through. It's just going to be sporadic, and it's not going to be the greatest thing ever, but it's for me. I don't know. I guess I can just do updates and let everybody know exactly what's going on. All I know is that this weekend has been a very emotionally trying time for me. Yeah, that would be, to say the least. I need everyone to know something. People with mental illness, yes, some of their mental illnesses may result in attention-seeking behavior, like bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder. But whether their disease presents that as a symptom or not, it is not okay for anybody to say to anybody that has mental illness that they're attention seeking, or that when they feel like they don't have enough attention, they will hurt themselves. You don't know what people with mental illness go through on a regular basis unless you have mental illness. So if you do not have mental illness, you do not have the right to tell somebody that their disease isn't real, or that they don't matter, or that they're just looking for attention. Because that's when we start feeling like we can't talk to anybody. Or we start feeling like, oh, well, I can't win for losing. Either I keep my mouth shut and I destroy myself slowly and quietly with nobody around, or I talk about my illness and everybody thinks that I'm fucking looking for somebody to hold my hand. I don't want anybody to hold my hand. I don't want people to have to hold my hand. I don't want to hold my own hand. I don't want to have mental illness. I want to be fucking normal, like everybody else. It sure would be nice to fucking wake up in the morning and not feel like I want to rip my hair out because I'm so anxious about shit that doesn't even matter. I don't want to have to drive down the road and think that I'm going to die every 3 seconds because I keep fucking getting visual or auditory hallucinations. It's not fun. It's something that is a serious illness, and I'm sick of people saying that it's not and disregarding it. You would never look at a cancer patient and tell them that they make themselves sick. So don't do it to somebody else with a different type of disease that is fucking invisible. It's not okay. It's not okay.